Well, we are live. Welcome to Summer Spotlights with Rise with Hope. I'm the host, Aisha Nixon, and I'm doing a series of conversations with women from different fields of work and business. These conversations, ladies, are just for you to encourage, to inspire, and to empower you. And this evening, I have the honor of welcoming Rachel Dash Williams. She is the founder of RDW Creative. And so we are about to have a conversation, a great conversation. And ladies, I want you to just take a moment to go grab a cup of tea, to sit and relax and to enjoy this conversation that we are about to begin. So, quickly get what you need, get your comfy pillow, be in your comfy chair because we are going to get started. Rachel, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Awesome. So, let's get started. Before we even just dive into the conversation, can you tell our audience just a little bit about yourself? Who is Rachel Dash Williams?
Well, I'm a wife. I'm a mom of two uh, fun, vibrant little girls. I'm a graphic designer, artist, creative person, and I like the outdoors, and I'm loving summer right now. So that's a little bit of who I am.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. That is great. And so, in that, and I know you mentioned that you're creative and you have your business that is called RDW Creative. Can you
Mhm.
tell us about this field of work that you're in and what change do you want to bring in the field of, I would say, in the field of art or graphic design?
Mhm. Well, I've been a designer for 25 years.
Oh, wow.
Crazy just thinking about that. But I think just from gathering whatever experiences and knowledge I've kind of gotten over the years, um, I'm happy to share that with other people, whatever form that may be. Um, I'm not sure what's ahead down the road, but maybe I might be able to do some type of mentorship, teaching, something like that. But for now, I'm just quite happy sharing my art, somehow being able to uplift others, encourage them, even in a small way. Um, and most recently, actually, during the pandemic, an organization that we partner with um, over quite some years called Compassion Canada. They put out a call for volunteers to help to raise funds for kids in a lot of countries that are having some trouble through the pandemic, just being able to get by with the things that they need. So recently, I've just decided to offer some of my art in exchange for that, in exchange for donations towards that. So that's one thing that I'm doing right now.
That is awesome. So, two questions actually come out of what you were just sharing. One is, can you tell us the type of art that you do?
Oh, well, Aisha, I've kind of dabbled in a lot of different things over the years. Um, I've done lots, like drawing. I'm not a big painter, like with acrylics and oil, but over the last year and a half, I've gotten to learn watercolor and I've fallen in love with it. So that right now is a passion of mine. If I could get my hands on some watercolor paints every week, that's awesome. And so what I've been trying to do now is to find a way to share that with people in a way that's accessible. So what I've done is I've decided to begin a print on demand company where I could offer prints of my work, which will make it a little bit more accessible to people who are not around me and would not possibly want to purchase something that is original. So yeah, I'm really enjoying watercolor, and I love photography too, although I don't really get a lot of time to dabble in it. I like that a lot too.
That is awesome. So, ladies, you've heard Rachel say she's into watercolor and photography when she does have the time
Hmm.
to be able to take photos. Actually, it wasn't another a question that I have, but a comment. I love how you mentioned that during the pandemic, you decided to venture into partnering with the organization called Compassion,
Hmm.
and being able to use your gift of with the arts and being
Hmm.
able to help those who are in need, you know?
Yeah.
And so I just want to say to you ladies out there who are listening that whatever your gift is, think, what in what way do you think that your gift can help others or contribute, or if there's an organization that you may be able to partner with, because as Rachel was saying, they were looking for volunteers. Was that what you were saying, Rachel?
Yeah, yeah. Like it was a call put out. It was almost like, what can we do virtually, or what can we do where we're not gathering people together? And so they were putting a call out, well, what creativity do you have? What art do you have? What gift do you have that you could share that would somehow be able to help children in other countries? And it was really practical the way that they did it. They would send finances over to churches and organizations that will then be able to purchase hygiene kits
Mm.
and food and things like that for the children. So yeah, it's really amazing. It's really amazing to be able to help um, children that are just not getting what they need to stay safe.
I like that. I like
Yeah,
that. So, ladies, keep your ears open, eyes open for opportunities where you can use your gift and be able to use it in a way that can bless others, to help others, to uplift and empower others,
yeah.
just as Rachel is doing. Thank you. Um, what? Why is this field important to you?
Um, I think, I don't know, for me, creativity goes beyond art and design. I feel like everyone was born with some measure of a creative gift. Just recently, I was reading about the very first person in the Bible that was infilled, and it was a creative person. And I hadn't read that before. And so I'm thinking that somehow the image of God, that is the creative God, because the Bible starts with creativity, right? So I'm thinking about that creativity being infused into each and every person in some way, because we're all created in that image. And so for me, that's important, because if that creativity, whatever that gift is input into each one of us, then God must see that as really important. Like, you are really important, and I'm putting that into you. And so I feel like creativity is not just art and design. You know what I mean? It could be you're designing communities, or you're creating spreadsheets, or you're finding solutions, or you're um, finding ways to take care of your family every day. You're budgeting. Like, you're somehow you're inputting creativity into the things that you do. And for me, that's really important. To be able to find solutions and to be innovative, even in the everyday things.
I love that.
Yeah.
And so, ladies who are out there who are wondering, am I creative? Well, Rachel just, she enlightened us with a different perspective that even in our daily living, we can be creative, whether it's with family, whether it's with work, whether it's with our business, etc. And so I hope you heard what she said in terms of being creative. It's not just through art and design, but also it could be
Absolutely.
in finding solutions, as she says, or in creating a budget, or in having, if you're a mother, having different meals for your children.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So if there's someone who wants to get into the fields that you're in terms of graphic design and art, what advice do you give them to be able
Mhm.
to enter into that field?
I think training is a big one. I don't think though that you need to be a university graduate to begin something. I think we all probably need to start where we are. No matter where you are, you can start with something. So say for example, you're not available to go to school. Perhaps you have the internet and you could look at YouTube videos, or you could sign up for Skillshare or Domestika or something like that. You can read. I think training is huge for that. Being able to learn not just, the applications and stuff to be able to do design, but to be able to kind of be a little bit more rounded. So I think a good one is to kind of listen to people, like discussions about design or art. I mean, there's lots out there that you could get into. A good thing to do too is to kind of surround yourself with people who probably are already doing what you want to do, or will be able to enlighten you or somehow kind of push you towards that goal. So I think, following, I follow people on Instagram, Facebook that sometimes they're not necessarily artists, but they're people who are at a certain level of, marketing or thinking that I'm able to kind of pick little things from, and you just kind of put it in your back pocket and you kind of build up
a portfolio or something.
Yeah, like you kind of like a mental, portfolio.
Yes.
So that's one thing. I think training is good. I think following, being around people too that are like-minded about what you want to do. I think setting goals is good. I discovered an artist the other day. Her name is Polly Christine, and she's a surface pattern designer. And she has this thing that she says, do one thing. And the basis of it is even though you have huge overarching goals, like you have these big goals, she said, that's great, but kind of break everything down. And if you can do one thing a day towards your goal, then you've done good. So whether it's 5 minutes or whether it's, 12 hours, it doesn't matter. If you can do one thing a day. And, for me, I think I like that idea because it's kind of, gently, you're being gracious with yourself, but yet still you're kind of keeping on track of where you want to be, where you want to go. And sometimes things change. And so that kind of gives you a little bit of room to wiggle and stuff like that. What else?
Before you continue, I just wanted to talk about that last point, because sometimes we think we may need to achieve the goal in such a short period of time, right?
Yeah.
Especially if there's no deadlines. But just giving yourself the time or the leeway and knowing, okay, if I spend a certain number of minutes, I'm closer to the goal than if I didn't spend any time, right? So letting that time be manageable, be realistic, considering, what you have to balance during the day. And so ladies, that's for you, right? Like maybe some of you, like Rachel is saying, like you have a whole list of goals that you want to accomplish. But take the advice of the artist that she is following, in the sense of, do one thing a day, and being able to do that every day. And before you know it, you're going to be able to check off a goal or goals, right?
Yeah, I think we need to kind of give ourselves a little grace too, because when we expanded our family and we had our kids, like I put all that stuff aside because I wanted to give myself wholly to my family. And so now I feel like I feel comfortable with kind of, developing some more of my work. So I think sometimes you just kind of give yourself a little bit of grace and just, say it's okay. I didn't get that done today. Maybe tomorrow.
Yes.
maybe the day after.
Right.
And if not, then, I mean, for me, if I didn't get what I want done today with work, it's okay. I got what I wanted to do with my family, which is even more important.
Yes,
You know what I mean?
absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's really important too for like any designer, maybe anybody actually, any kind of creative, like when you think about something and an idea, or you have some type of a spark or something like that, I think it's really important that you document it.
Yes.
That's huge for me because I have had lots of ideas that I have not written down, and I don't like, they go in and they come out. So sometimes I don't even write it down. So you could like take a photo, or you could make a voice memo or something. I think it's good to document your ideas.
Awesome.
Too. Yeah.
That's good to know, because as an author, I use my phone to write notes. So I like that other idea of like the voice memo, because maybe you don't have time to write it down, or to take a photo. I never thought of that. So great ideas. And ladies, that's for you too, because the idea can come maybe late in the night too, right? Where it's like, oh my goodness, right? So have a notepad and pen, or your phone beside your bed, so that you can jot it down, because sometimes in the morning you forget, right?
Yep. Just use that little note app in your phone do all the time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, I don't know about you. I know with me in my field, whether it's writing, whether it's teaching, there are challenges. And so in your field of graphic design and art, can you talk about one or two challenges that you have had, and how did you overcome them?
Well, right now, I think for me, and I can only talk about what I'm going through right now. For me, the challenge right now is balance. And I feel a lot of it is usually balance, balancing like what I really feel like I want to do. Like today, I want to get this done. But then I have to balance my life, and I have to balance my family. And in a pandemic, it's a little bit different. So I think balance right now is a big one for me. But how do I overcome that? Like what we talked about before, I kind of just try to be gracious with myself, try to be gracious with my family, and just realize that, I can't get it all done, but, we could kind of just work with what we have. We could work together. Besides that, I think a big challenge for me was when I first moved to Canada from Trinidad and Tobago, and being able to get a job in my field. Like I didn't realize just how saturated the field was. And then being an immigrant was a little bit different too, because I almost feel like you have to kind of prove yourself a little bit more. So with that, I think for me, it just was a matter of just continuing to push in my field. Like if it was to just continue to apply, continue to put myself out there, learning more. Like I think there's so much to learn in the world. Like there's just actually probably too much information coming at you now, but there's always something to learn. And I feel like for me, learning, going back to school to a course here, or whatever, was available to me at the time, I would do. And so I think that kind of was a good thing for me to be able to add to my resume, add to my portfolio, things like that. So yeah, I think that was a huge challenge for me. It took years. And then eventually, we lived in Alberta for a bit. Moving back to Toronto, it was the same thing all over again. It's like I couldn't find a job. But you know what? At the end of the day, what happened was I just decided to take my freelance business full time. And so now I work for myself, and I work for my clients. So so for me right now, the break off, my art break off what I'm doing right now with my art is really nice in the sense that I'm able to make my own decisions for me.
Mm-hmm.
So it feels empowering. It also puts pressure on my shoulders because I want to do things how I want to do them, and there's a particular way. But at least I'm able to make those decisions,
Right, exactly.
about my own business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Yeah.
sharing. I like, and so ladies who are listening, Rachel was talking about two main challenges, one being balance, and the
Mm-hmm.
second one being in terms of immigrating from another country coming to Canada, and just the challenge of being able to get into the field, and so forth, and then moving from one province to another and finding a job in that area. But I want you ladies to be encouraged, because with the balance, Rachel again was referring to just being able to think, doing one thing a day, and just being gracious to yourself and not being so hard on yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and just realizing what's important in your life, as
Yeah.
she mentioned, family. And so, ladies, I don't know if some of you are feeling hard on yourselves, and feeling like, okay, my goals are put to the side and it's all about family right now. Rachel talked about that. And I guess, Rachel, was there a time where your goals were put to the side and,
Yeah.
family was first and
Yeah.
you were
But
focused on family?
that was a decision I made too.
Yes,
Together
absolutely.
with my husband, I made that decision because
Hmm.
that's what I wanted.
Yep.
I wanted to give it all. Some people may not want to do that, and they may be able
Yep.
to have that support that they'd be able to
Yeah.
go back to work or pursue more education or pursue their business or whatever, and they have that support. But for me, that was what was important to me at the time, and I really wanted to give 100% of myself. And I still do, but now I feel like, we're at a family place now where I could kind of, venture out a little bit on my own.
Yeah,
my
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, so ladies, and also it depends on the season that you're in,
Hmm.
and the support systems that you have around you, and so forth. And then the second, in terms of being an immigrant, and coming to Canada, and the challenges that she had. And what I hear in that is she persevered, and she, didn't give up. She persisted, trained, was learning and growing. And so, and she mentioned the word years, and it took many years, and so,
Yeah.
ladies, don't give up. Sometimes you may be thinking, this is taking so long, but just keep going, because you will make it. You will achieve what you need to achieve. Yeah, absolutely, it's not easy, but look what Rachel said. She's been in this field for 25 years, and so she's a testament of not giving up.
Yeah, that's right. Don't don't just do something. Do
Hmm.
something with where you're at, whatever it is, because even when you're going through um, those times that, stuff is just not working out in your career, you just keep doing something, whatever it is. If you're learning something or um, I think it's important to just because it helps you. It helps to take you along the road, but it also you're learning and you're growing and you're developing while you're doing that. So when you're coming out at the end of it, at least you have something with you, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. What inspired you, Rachel, to actually go into this field?
Hmm. Um, I think I've just always been the creative person. Like I feel like this is what one thing I was born to do. I was just born to do this. And so if it wasn't this, it would have been something else creative,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Yeah, I just decided that I wanted to do something with art when I came out of school. And so um, I just went for my diploma in Trinidad. And um, that was a little bit of a challenge at the end too, I must say, because I'm coming from a family background where, sometimes the finances weren't always there to support in certain areas. I ended up finishing my diploma after I got my first job. So that was a little bit difficult because working, if anybody did work and school at the same time, you know what that's like, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a little bit tricky,
Mhm.
but I did it.
Excellent. And that's what's important, right? You finished, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, no, that's good. I'm glad to
Yeah.
hear that. And so for you, what do you, in your field, what do you define as success with RDW Creative?
Hmm.
What would you define as success?
I think success for me would be, well, specifically with design and my design business, would be when I've achieved what my client needs
Mm,
and my client is happy, um, and they're able to go to whatever it is that I've done, they're able to move on to the next thing with it. I think that's important. I put a really high standard on the quality of work that I do. Um, and I want to make sure that people can trust me. That's huge, because I know that if I go to somebody for a service, I want to be able to trust you with what, with what I'm giving you to do. So that's huge for me. And I think if I can do that, and when I do that, I feel successful. And
awesome.
on the art side, if
Hmm.
I'm able to somehow inspire somebody for something positive, if I'm able to spark some kind of joy, no matter what it is, then I feel good. Then I know that somehow for I've impacted you for eternity or for the future. You know what I mean? I've given you something that somehow builds you up in some way.
That's
Yeah.
great. That
Yeah.
is great. And so, ladies, you who are listening, think about your field of work or business and think about what is success to you. What is defined as success to you? Rachel just shared her definition. And so, we may each have our own. And so, think about, reflect on what is success to you in your field of work and business. Well, this is awesome. And we can keep going on and on and on, but we are coming to an end. So I want you to share with the audience how they'd be able to find you, because they may be able want to, buy one of your prints or find out more about what you do, etc.
Mhm.
So share with the audience, please, Rachel. That would be great.
No problem. But the quickest way is to go to my website, rdwcreative.ca, not .com.ca. And I have pretty much information about everything that I do there. My I have my print shop on there. I have links to Society 6 and Redbubble, which are also shops that you can shop at. I have artwork. I have information on my design. I have email on there. If anybody needs to contact me through that. And then I'm also on IG, Instagram. You could look me up, Rachel-Williams or RDW Creative. I have 2 accounts. And I'm on Facebook as well, on the same thing, at
Great.
RDW Creative and at Rachel-Williams. So
Awesome. So
yeah.
Rachel just shared different ways that you can find her, and I am one of. I'll just mention again her website, rdwcreative.ca. So go and take a look and see what she has out there, and see how you can support her and her business. Um, Rachel, I'm so grateful that you took the time to be able to share with us your journey with your business, RDW Creative. Thank you.
Oh, Aisha,
I'm
it was
praying
nice.
that the
It's
ladies
always
who are
nice to chat
on.
with you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Who is on next week?
Next week we are going to have Nicole Teschel. She's the founder
Okay.
of So Sweet Greetings. And so another great conversation will be happening same time, same place. And so stay tuned. And so Rachel, I just want to thank you, because your conversation, I know for me, I was inspired, and ladies who are listening, I hope you were inspired, encouraged, empowered, and that you found this time worth being here and worth joining us. And so we are coming to a close, and I just want to say thanks again, Rachel.
Thanks so much, Aisha. It was nice chatting with you. It was fun. Thank you for having me. It was
No
great.
problem. Thank you. All right, ladies, thanks for joining.